The story of Red Dead Redemption 2 contains 8 main chapters, 6 in the main story where we follow the tale of Arthur Morgan and witness the fall of the Vanderlyn gang, and 2 in the epilogue seeing John Marston and his family after the main event of the story. These 6 main chapters of RDR2, they are all exceptionally well written and executed, each having their own theme, narrative, set goals, and just their own overall vibe. However, there is one chapter that, despite it being on the shorter side, fans of the game aren't really too fond of it for its change of pace, slower feel, restrictive gameplay, and overall just being different from the rest of the game. Of course, I am talking about Guarma, the 5th chapter of Red Dead Redemption 2. There's even a good chance that's how you feel about this chapter. But what if I told you that Guarma could have possibly been your favorite chapter? It should be well known by now that Red Dead 2 has a lot of cut content, and a major victim of this is the entire chapter of Guarma. From the map being originally bigger, us having the ability to explore it in free roam, having stranger missions on the island, just the chapter itself being longer, more memorable, and not a shell of its former self. In this video, I'll be covering every single piece of the cut chapter of Red Dead Redemption 2, Guarma. A mission was cut from the game, which involved Bill and Arthur rescuing Leon's niece during the Guarma chapter. Cut dialogue notates that she would have been taken off the island. Her dress uses the same model and textures as Mary Linton's, and she even has a funeral hat that's identical to Mary's, which is used by Edith Downs in a trailer. Except it also features a veil. Mary Linton also wears Leon's niece's hair in her funeral outfit. Only a mission photo and models for Leon's niece remain in the game files, though cut text implies that Arthur and Bill would have helped her off the island. It's referred to as SMG-1 or Smuggler-1 in the game files. Roger Clark mentions that at one point a scene would have taken place involving jumping into a lagoon.
Welcome to the New World, everyone's favourite chapter, Guarma. That's a lie, no one likes Guarma. The reason why so many people have a distaste for Guarma is due to its similarities with Chapter 1. Both chapters start off incredibly slow and have a really restrictive gameplay. However, with Guarma, it could have been something entirely different. The leaked files for Guarma's map show it to be much larger and even having more missions, including one where we rescue Leon's niece with Bill, and even a stranger mission with a random character called Dr. Lane Higgins. Guarma was meant to be completely accessible, but for some reason, Rockstar limited it down to only a small section of the island. Looking back at the old leaked map of Red Dead 2, we can actually see an early version of Guarma as an entire island. With the use of PC mods, we are even able to use the free cam to see the rest of the island. Then just off the west coast of Guarma, there's a neighbouring island that can be seen in the distance. Maybe this was meant to be another location that was supposed to be featured in the story, but its accessibility got cut from the final game, so the purpose of this island remains a mystery. Guarma had the potential to be one of the best chapters in the entire game, so it's quite sad to see all the things that could have been if it wasn't a victim of cut content. Let's hope that Rockstar decide to open up Guarma to us in Red Dead Online and allow us to fully explore it with our friends. Who am I kidding? This game is never getting updated again. Moving on.
The gang's map on Guarma was supposed to be located in a cave on a cut area of the map known as El Hueco. It appears the place was relocated and an arch covers its intended entrance in the final game. An occlusion model still exists in game files for it. Guarma had many different cut locations, such as Le Village, which had a bar and a few shops with a leftover occlusion model remaining in the files, the aforementioned El Hueco, and more. Furthermore, some cut saloon dishes we could have possibly seen in Le Village include turtle soup, consomme, cornbread, corned beef hash, crab cakes, a ham sandwich, liver sandwich, oyster stew, a pork biscuit sandwich, and potatoes and peas were scrapped from the game at some point in development. It's possible, though unconfirmed, that They were intended for Armadillo, Annisburg, Emerald Ranch, and Guarma. Those locations either don't serve food or originally intend to have a functioning saloon. Though Guarma seems the most probable, as I'm not a biologist, but I can tell you for free that turtles and crabs surely are nowhere near those locations.
On to the next one.
The first cut stranger I'll be covering is a man named Dr. Lane Higgins. He was left over in the files alongside his voice lines, and he would have served as the subject of a cut stranger mission set on Guarma, being the subject of a stranger mission strand. Cut voice lines depict him asking the player to stop members of the Cuban military from desecrating a sacred site in order to steal post-Columbian artifacts, which he believes to belong in a museum. Remnants of another character that would have appeared on Guarma exist called Senor Andres Colon, who used similar face textures to Leviticus Cornwall. His hat is nearly identical to that of Dr. Lane Higgins and Samson Finch. His hair is nearly identical to Professor Andrew Bell III's. His pants are nearly identical to Hercules, and he would have given out missions to either Arthur or John. Sharks are supposed to be encountered in Guarma and included in the compendium. There are two types, the hammerhead and the tiger shark. Tiger sharks come in silver, matte, and orange varieties. Hammerhead sharks have two varieties, with one having a bit of brown detailing. They still will spawn in Guarma, but only if the player returns or enters Guarma early through the use of a mod or exploit. A cut random encounter involving a shark attack can also be found within the game's code. Textures, a model, and scripts also exist for a discoverable dead tiger shark. Evidence suggests that the player would have opened its mouth and possibly taken one of its teeth. The model for the dead tiger shark was reused in Grand Theft Auto Online's Cayo Perico heist. Despite being able to be found in Guarma, if the player makes a run towards their spawn points, the green sea turtle was mostly cut from the game and can only be studied and drawn into the player's journal, but not added to their compendium. There's also a cut functionality to skin the turtle, but due to the green sea turtle not being added to the compendium, there exists unused compendium images related to that in the files. Chapter 5, Trivia. The player was originally able to pay $100 to board a ferry, which would have taken them to locations such as Blackwater, Saint Denis, and Guarma. Originally, we were meant to be able to visit Guarma after the main story when playing as John, but either because they felt it wasn't necessary or it just didn't make sense when you think about it in the context of the story, which is a common reason for things being cut in RDR 2, this didn't make the final cut. Eliza, Arthur's cut baby mama, who was covered by Waxy in his cut characters video and tuned by Zonkers on the cut missions video, was originally not only supposed to be in the game, but even be present in the Guarma chapter. What she was meant to be there for and why she was meant to be there is still unknown to this day. Guarma was originally meant to be called Guama. The worship in Guarma has an interior and backing details that can never be seen by the player through normal means. A pirate skeleton was cut from the game, in which it seems Arthur could have obtained the jacket and hat from on Guarma. There also exists a cut pirate skeleton key which may have been related to this. At some point in development, the player could have set up camp on Guarma. And finally, this random Frenchman we saw in Guarma had an unused vest and cut hair. So I guess they literally cut his hair. And that brings the end to this video. I made sure I didn't miss a single thing, though I could be wrong. So don't be afraid to let me know down in the comments below. If wondering about the cut characters video and the cut missions video, the cut characters video is already on Waxy's channel, while cut mission is coming on a Zonkers channel near you. So this video is to finish the cut content trilogy, and the cut missions video by Zonkers will conclude the cut content tetralogy. Anyway, I don't think I'll see you or you'll see me till trailer 2 drops or something on that subject. So St. Doomers and everyone, until we cross paths again, until next time, that's DoomsDave, signing off.